just around the corner.
Hey there, friends, and welcome to my channel. I'm Crafty Kathy, and this is Frida Fantasia, and we are so happy that you stopped in to craft and spend a little time with us today. Guys, I scoured the internet and found the hottest DIYs and trends of this season, and I have them in this video for you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, don't forget to do that and hit the like button. Do you have anything else to say? Okay, I love you so much. Well, let's just jump on in. We're going to start off with the very popular reindeer carousel. I'm going to use these two round mirrors, and I'm going to flip them over because it'll just about blind you when the camera points down on top of it. And then I grabbed 3 of these crystal clear reindeer. You're also going to want something to go in the very center of your carousel. I chose this tall hurricane vase, and it all depends on like what the height is you want. You can also use one of those candle jars from Dollar Tree, the tall skinny ones. And then inside my hurricane vase, I decided I wanted some light in there. I'm going to use this little battery-powered candle that I found the other day when I was at Dollar Tree. I also have just a few various little ornaments. Just whatever you want to fill your vase up with will look good. And just keep in mind, you can do whatever you want to with this, and it all depends on the look that you're going for. You can make it something extravagant, or you can literally just use stuff that you already have. I'm going to use some string lights right over the top of my little candle here because I want as much light as possible. Now, I always buy about 24 packs of these string lights because you can get them for about 50 cents a pack, usually on Amazon. I keep these linked in my Amazon store in case you're interested. I stuck those down in there, and then I just stuck a couple ornaments and realized that my other mirror is not going to lay flush with those ornaments on there. So out they came, and I grabbed just a little bit of the stuff that Dollar Tree calls table scatter, which literally looks like very small ornaments, and I just popped a few of those in there. Now I've changed my camera angle because, like I said, it will just about blind you to have the camera right over top of one of these mirrors. I'm going to grab that Fix-All adhesive, and I'm going to put half of it on each hoof and half hot glue. That way that hot glue will hold these guys still until the Fix-All has a chance to set. And once that sets, they won't go anywhere. But just remember, don't mix the two together because it will cancel each other out. I went through and did this to each of my little reindeer and put them there on the very edge of the mirror. Then once I had all my little guys set and made sure that they wasn't going to wobble around, I'm going to grab my hurricane vase and just set it down in the center to make sure that it's going to have enough room to go there. I decided that it would be a lot smarter not to glue my hurricane vase down because I'm going to have to flip it over every time to turn my battery-powered light off and on, and that would just be a headache. So now we're halfway done. We're going to work on our top mirror. And I just grabbed some of these fairy lights. They were $4.99 at Discovery Outlet. It has 30 little twinkle lights, and the reason why I chose these is because they're shaped like ornaments. And the next thing that I'm going to do is just grab this little candle cup that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I got these little rings off of Temu. I decided on the lighter ring, and I'm going to put half hot glue and half Fix-All adhesive and just put that little ring right on top of that candle cup. And by the way, you can get these candle cups at Hobby Lobby for about $2 when they're 50% off, and they're in their wood pile section. I wanted to be able to hide this battery pack underneath the bowl on the top, and the smaller bowl that I had first chosen would not work, but this little plastic bowl came from the Dollar Tree. There was 12 of them in a package in the party section. And I took all my little pieces outside and I spray painted it with my Rust-Oleum oil rubbed bronze. It's black, but it has this beautiful metallic hint to it, and it's really pretty. Now, this is going to go on the very top of our carousel, and it's conveniently going to cover up my little battery pack. And since my battery pack is going to be underneath this, I'm not going to be able to glue it down either. Now let's put this thing together. Now, I got this little spinning thing off of Amazon. It was like $14, maybe $13, and it's going to make my carousel go around when I plug it in. You don't have to buy one of these. It just came to my mind to get one, and to be honest, I don't recommend it because it has to stay plugged in order for it to go around. Now, the easy part, we're putting everything together. I just set my little charger plate down, and I'm going to place that bottom mirror down and turn on all my lights. That's all I'm doing here. And then our second mirror is just going to sit right on the top of this. And you can stop right there and you have a gorgeous carousel if you want to. But I decided I wanted to do just a couple more small things. I'm going to grab these Christmas trees. They're from Dollar Tree also, 3 in a pack. And I'm going to place one in between the deers. And you'll also notice on the top there, I stuck like a random little poinsettia, a couple of the red berries from Dollar Tree, and a few pine cones that I found outside. Remember, yours doesn't have to be exactly like mine. This is just a model to kind of show you how to put it together, and let your imagination run wild, and also use what you have in your stash, and I promise you, yours will come together beautifully. I got 2 of these smaller white trees at Dollar Tree the other day, and I'm just going to place one on each side on the top. I felt like it would be cute, and it would just add a little something up there. Now, they have those little wood bases on the bottom of them, and I did put a little dab of hot glue on those because if I didn't, they would just probably fall over when this thing started moving around. Have patience with me, guys, because I was actually just putting this together as I was going along, and I realized that those larger ornaments that I had placed in my hurricane vase, I didn't like those. I wanted to fill it all the way up with the table scatter because not only did it look better, but it covered up that little battery pack to my small fairy lights. Also, when I'm actually in the process of putting my projects together, that's when my creativity comes to life, and that's when I get my best ideas. I decided to take the top mirror off and take these Scrabble letters that I get from the Dollar General. I think they're $2 for a package, and I spelled out the words Merry Christmas. The reason why I took that piece off is because that way my letters would be flush with each other and look better. Now I've got it put back together, and I grabbed some of these icicles, of course from the Dollar Tree. These are the larger ones, and I cut like 3 sections off. I just kind of eyeballed it to see where I needed to cut. I used my cutters and cut them off, and I'm going to glue them to the top part of the bottom mirror and the underneath part of that top mirror. I hope that makes sense, but do you see what I'm doing here? I just glued it to the top and to the bottom. And these are going to look like the little poles that are, on the carousels. Then I took just a little bit of that fake snow from Dollar Tree and just kind of sprinkled it all around. And I had also taken that table scatter and placed it just kind of here and there on the bottom. Now keep in mind, yours doesn't have to be as elaborate as this. Use the products that you already have at your house and your imagination, and this turned out so beautiful.
Well, I'm all for Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes, and I want it all from the lights to the mistletoe.
The next one is probably the simplest of all of these. We're just going to grab a couple of these dust busters, I think they're called, the microfiber dusters from Dollar Tree. And you can just screw the bottoms off of these, by the way. But while we're going to cut these, we're going to leave our bottoms on so we can hold on to it. You're just going to take a good pair of scissors. I started out with these small ones, and I ended up using some great big ones that were so much easier to do. You're simply going to cut these in the shape of a tree. You're going to let the bottom part stay all the way full, and you're just going to start about halfway up and just really start slimming it down. And don't worry about getting in there and just really cutting it down, because that's what's going to give you that tree shape. And every so often, I just kind of jiggled it back and forth so that it would totally fluff out and I could get a good idea of what I'm doing here. And while you're watching me cut this piece down, I just want to welcome each and every one of y'all, whatever brought you to my channel today. I'm so glad that you came to spend a little time with me. And don't forget to hit the like button if you're enjoying this video so far, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet. We'd love to have you. The past few weeks, I've been looking over like the Facebook groups that I'm a part of, the Dollar Tree Facebook groups, and just watching other people and what they're creating. And these are the most viral DIYs, the ones that you see people making the most of and the most popular of this season. And small tabletop trees are all the rage. Now, once that I am satisfied with the way that my tree looks, we're going to put a base on the bottom of these. So I'm going to fluff it out real good like I was telling you about. Just kind of shake it out and fluff it. And then I'm just going to unscrew that bottom. And I grabbed a drill that had the same drill bit in it that was the size of the bottom of my tree. And I'm just going to use one of these little pieces of wood that are from the Dollar Tree, of course. I'm simply just going to drill a hole in there, but don't go all the way through. Just go, about 3/4 of the way through. Once you make sure that it fits, put just a little bit of hot glue down in there because it's going to hold your tree secure, and pop your tree right down in there. And voila, you have a beautiful tree. Now, I ended up making a total of 3 of these trees, and with each one, it seemed like I got better and better, and it just became easier. I grabbed these large pinking shears, and it just made the job so much easier, like I was saying, to have a bigger set of scissors like these. And even with them having the jagged edges on them, it still turned out so pretty. I put 2 of them on those little wood bases like I showed you at first, and then I grabbed this piece of wood from outside. My neighbor had cut down a tree, and there was a few slices like this, and I grabbed these up because I can use them in my crafts. And I drilled a hole right through the very front portion of this, and I'm going to place one of the trees down in that hole because that way it's going to be setting lower than the others, and we're going to make a beautiful scene of these 3 trees. I popped that one tree right down in there, and then I just put a little bit of glue down in order to hold the other 2 still so they wouldn't be falling over. Then I stepped back and looked at it, and I felt like it was missing something. So I grabbed a couple of these little pine branches. I think I only put about 2 on each side. I cut this wire part off of them and stuck them in there, and then I added some of the little red berries right on top of that. And that's all I did to this one. It didn't need anything else, and it turned out so pretty.
Christmas is just around the corner, coming up just around the bend. Holiday couldn't be here sooner. Holiday for family and friends. And we've got pine tree, pine cone, evergreen, mistletoe, candy cane, Santa Claus, a gingerbread woman and a gingerbread man in a gingerbread house and all. Christmas is just around the corner, coming up just around the bend.
This last project is a gorgeous, easy wreath. It's usually gold, and it comes in these 3 rings from the Dollar Tree. I took these outside and I put a tie wrap around them so that they would be nice and secure, and I spray painted them with my metallic oil rubbed bronze. And these are some of those bells that come out in the summertime. If you see these in the summer, grab them because they already have the little clackers in them and everything. Now, these had some kind of saying on them, or maybe it was like a summer picture. I don't really remember, but I had taken my rub and buff and went over them last year. But this year, we're going to do something just a little bit different with these. Of course, I have to use my Pentart Antique Paste because I love this stuff. I actually like it better than Rub and Buff. I like the Rub and Buff at Halloween, the gold color, but I am crazy about this bronze color. Now, what we're going to do with this is we are going to place this on our bells. And the way that I like to do this is I'll get a little bit of my antique paste just on the back end of whatever. This is just a piece of cardboard. And I'm just kind of dipping my brush down in there. I use a little bit of a fluffy brush, but it's kind of a stiff fluffy brush, if that makes any sense at all. And I'm just going to brush it all over my little bells. Now, I wasn't looking for perfection here. You don't even have to cover up every single spot. But as you see, some of that rub and buff kind of chipped off over the last year. And these were in probably a tote out in my garage. And so I'm just going over them and just kind of just very lightly and haphazardly brushing it on because they're already painted gold. We're just trying to give them the hue of the bronze. And I want to show you the difference in the way these two look side by side now. The one on the right is the one that I just finished. Once I finished getting my bronze on all of these, I grabbed that same antique paste in the brown color, and you see it doesn't take very much of these. Now, what I'm going to do with this is use that same brush that I already had, and I just kind of tapped my brush down in there. And at first, I just was kind of painting it on here, feathering it on, just like I did the bronze color. But then I started tapping it on there, and I realized what a difference that made. Now, all I did was tap it up and down just like I do when I'm doing my stencils. Nothing special at all, and you don't want full coverage. You just go all over it. And it gave it the most beautiful antique look. And I wanted to show you side by side of the difference that it made. I did this same process to all 3 of my bells so that they would be cohesive, but each one is a little bit different depending on whether you put a lot of that antique paste or a little bit. It's all your personal preference. And don't you worry one bit if you didn't grab these bells over the summer, because Dollar General has 3 bells on what looks like a door knocker, and the total of it is $3, and they're large round bells, and those are just as popular as these. I had to leave my craft room for a minute, and I just left my door open, and I kept hearing a weird purring sound. And I had this pillow underneath my craft table. I had ripped it open because I was using it for fake snow. My kitty cat Nala had climbed in there and was taking a nap. I have critters all over this place. I'm not even kidding. And mind you, I still have my chicken with the broke foot in the corner of my craft room in a large crate. But anyways, back to the project. I have this dark brown velvet ribbon, and velvet ribbon is all the rage this Christmas. I'm just going to make a simple figure 8 or cause bow, whichever you call it, where you just kind of make your figure 8 and you just kind of squish it down in the middle, bring it all together in the middle. Take you some floral wire, and you're going to clasp that in the middle to hold these. And I made 3 of these, and we're going to put these on all 3 of the bells. These bells already came with a nice thick jute cord hanger, and it was also holding the clacker. So I just glued each of my velvet ribbons to that jute cord. And now I'm going to grab some jute cord that I purchased at Walmart. It's a little bit thinner. And we're going to hang these up in the simple fashion that everybody is going with. If you just stick each one of these on your jute cord, they're all just going to kind of like fall on top of each other, and that's not a good look because they need to be at different levels. And the way that we are going to get that look is by taking each bell and we're going to tie a knot in between where the next bell is going to hang. And that way the bells will be kind of hanging at different levels. I hope that makes sense, but I hope you can see from what I'm doing here. All I'm doing is tying a simple knot into each one so that it will not fall down any further and that they will be hanging at different levels. And of course, like everything else, you just put these at whatever level that you like. You might like having two hang down, the same level and one a little bit more. It's all depending on your personal taste and how you want yours to look. So after I got my knots in all of mine, I'm just going to take my wreath and I'm going to tie like a double knot up in the top. So basically, I'm just tying these in a knot and then a double knot so that it won't go anywhere. Then I'm just going to cut the excess jute cord off. Now, we need something more than just the bells on here. So I have these two picks that I got at Walmart. I think they were like $1.25 a piece. And I'm just going to slightly bend them so that they will go in the direction of the wreath. I kind of slid them underneath where I've got the bells tied, and I'm going to take another tie wrap and I'm going to secure these so that they're not going to go anywhere. And then once you pull your tie wrap really nice and tight, you're just going to cut off that excess. When I make my wreaths and such, I always look at them often, just step back and look at them to make sure that I like the way they're looking. Now you can use ribbon like I've got here with the reindeer, but I chose this clip-on poinsettia that was $1.28 from Walmart. I felt like since the bows were made out of velvet and this poinsettia is velvet, it just kind of went hand in hand and it just kind of brought it all together. And really quickly, I do want to show you the other bells that I was talking about. I got these from Dollar General, and they're much smaller, and if that's the look you're going for, they would be gorgeous too.
And the night is cold. Everyone's lighting candles.
If you stuck with me through all of today's video, I just want to thank you so much for coming and dropping in and spending a little time with me today. Let me know which one of these was your favorite. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And my videos come out every Monday and Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I hope that you guys enjoyed these. I have several more that I could make a part 2 of if you would like to see a part 2. There are so many big, popular DIYs this Christmas that I couldn't fit them all into one video. So let me know what you think about that idea too, and I will be seeing you guys back here real soon, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I hope y'all have a happy holiday with your family, and God bless all of you. And did you know that if you're on a phone or a tablet that you can click on my face right here and subscribe to my channel? You sure can, and I would love it if you would do that. Also, there's a video right here that's very similar to this one, and if you'll click on that, it'll take you there in just a minute. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.